So we have almost completed our Bloxburg town. It's actually a little bit sad, but all we have left to add is some important details like power lines and things, and also we have a few, okay, maybe more than a few, we have a lot of fix-ups that need to be done and dusted here, because you know how my building has obviously changed over the past year, so there is a lot of questionable color choices that I have made in the past that really need to be revamped because they are really awful. So that's what I will be doing today. So let's get started. For like the first time in my life, I have a plan for what I want to build this video. So I want to definitely include some street lights and road markings because the roads are looking a little bit naked and bland at the moment. And I also want to add some power lines, as I mentioned earlier, because it'll just add to the towny countryside kind of vibe. And then I also want to fix up the tunnels that I already started making, and also add some signposts and some street light details, and then of course I need to fix up all my questionable color choices. So I think first I'm probably going to start off with the street lights. Pinterest is going to be my helper as usual. So for the style of street light, I don't want it to be, you know, Mary Poppins London kind of style. I want it to be more modern, and I want it to incorporate like a metal rod design, and it also has a little bit of an arch at the top maybe. Also, the in-game Bloxburg street lamps is also a guide that I can use because it's more on the vibe that I'm trying to go for, but they're also really chunky and tall, and I don't really want that, so I think I'll do kind of a similar design to that, just make it a whole lot smaller. I'm going to start off with a basic cube, and I'll flatten it down all the way so I can create a base to work on. In terms of the height of this thing, I do need to keep in mind that I need to add an arch right at the top, so the overall base can't be too tall. So this is round about the size of a one-story building. It's a little bit like kind of small, but I think maybe once I add the arch it'll look good. I'm not really convinced this is going to be super accurate because I don't really know that much about street lights, because I know it can come in varied forms, like some of them have road lights completely opposite each other, others are kind of in a zigzag kind of form, so I'm probably going to go for the zigzag approach, because if I add opposite lights everywhere on the road, it's gonna be so crowded and the roadside is just gonna look really ugly, so I'll probably just scatter them around to wherever it looks good. This carpet trick is so messy, and it is so annoying to put this dumb light on this thing. This is giving me bad memories of what I had to deal with back in the day. Not gonna lie, I thought this was gonna turn into complete crap, but here we are. Look at that. That actually looks like a street light, so I think I'm happy with this design. So now I've got to go through the very long process of copying and pasting these everywhere on the road. These are pretty easy to transport all around the town. It's just the lighting that is going to take 10 million years, because since it's not able to be transformed, I'm going to have to do it manually on every single one. So let's hope that I don't end up changing this later on and then I have to redo all of them, because that would really suck for me.
Oh my God.
I wasn't really sure how I was going to plan out all of these streetlights on this particular road, because I don't really want it to block the lake view, so maybe every once in a while I can add it, and then I can also add it on the other side, but there's not really a pathway anyway, so I don't really know how this is going to work. Okay guys, I finally finished all of the street lights. This took way too long, but if we turn it to nighttime, see, look, our beautiful town is all lit up at nighttime. Now we can actually see everything, and I think it looks pretty decent. I thought it was gonna flop, but I think adding it makes the street a lot more realistic, I guess, and also there's a lot more light on the side of the town because it's quite dark over there. So now that I've finished those, I'm going to start off with the next thing on my list, which is the road markings. So I have 3 particular road markings I'm going to include in this town. Since most of the roads are one lane, I'm not going to have any broken white lines in the center. I'm just going to have them on the sides of the road. So the first variant is just going to be yellow broken lines, and then I'll have also some white, just plain lines, and then I'll also have the pedestrian crossing lines. Since I have my license, I think I'm confident with how to arrange these road lines. So basically where I'm from, I don't know if it's the same in America. It probably is, maybe a little bit different, but here these broken yellow lines basically means you can't pass there, you can't park there or whatever, you just need to stay away. And then on the other hand, the white lines means you are able to pass there with caution, obviously, and yeah, I guess you'll be able to park there as well. So I'm gonna have a variety of both these yellow lines and the white lines. I think this patch of road here is suitable for parking, so I'm going to add these white lines on the edge of the road. I don't think it's very suitable to be parking on a corner like this because it's a very busy corner and it's just kind of out of place a little bit, so I'm going to continue these yellow broken lines all the way across until I meet the white lines. I was considering making custom cars to like park on the sides of the road and stuff, but after going through that painful experience of building the car museum with my friend, that was very painful to make realistic cars. And I guess since now I have the transform tool, it can be a little bit better, but I don't want to spend all that time, and also my plot data is not going to appreciate that very much. So, and also I think it'll be way too crowded if I added heaps of cars on the road anyway, so I think just empty like this will do. Okay guys, I'm in a little bit of a predicament because as you can see, I changed the height of this light just to see if it would look better, and I think that looks a lot better because it's taller compared to the little scrawny one beside it. See, it's literally almost hidden by the McDonald's sign, so it looks so much better taller, but then I'm gonna have to go through the painful, painstaking process of changing every single light again. So I don't really want to do that, but I think I'm gonna have to, so I'll see you guys in like 10 years or something.
75 years later.
Okay, that was a good decision, making the lights taller. See, look, that looks so much better beside the IKEA. That's beautiful. I'm trying to find some spaces to add pedestrian crossings, but all of the spots are like really awkward because I have so many really weird triangular angles of paths and stuff, like especially this one beside the pizza place and also the town hall area. So I don't know, this is kind of hard. I think the white lines on this back road just looks a little bit off and wacky, so I think I'll just get rid of them and then just keep the road without any lines because you don't really need it anyway, it's just a back road. And boom, that is the last of the road markings. I'm pretty sure it's kind of accurate, it looks okay anyways, but that is the end of the markings. It's a little weird to look at because I'm not used to it, but I think it'll grow on me the more that I get used to it. So now that the markings are finished, I'm going to focus on the tunnels. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time on these tunnels because I want to focus on the other important details, so I'm just going to add these basic squares up here just to cover up that interesting little mess up there. The type of tunnel I want to go for is a more modern one. I don't want it to be really like run down or anything. I just want it to be simple and clean. So I'm going to include these vents and, well, not vents, sorry, ducts, and then I'll also add some vents on the walls, and then I also need some lights. I'm not loving this architecture of a tunnel entrance. I'm pretty sure I made that on the very first episode, so I'm going to scrap that and instead I'm going to try create a more sleeker curved design. It would be so helpful if Bloxburg had some more curved items because the only thing they have is that structural arch, but there's only so much you can do with that. You can really only make it a certain degree and width and things, so it would be very helpful right now for me if I was able to make a perfect little arch. A little bit rough. I'm just gonna rearrange the pieces a little bit. I feel like I'm building Lego or something right now. Light boxes are the way to go, I think. It's really basic and I think it'll fit in quite well. Oh my goodness, this is chef's kiss beautiful. I love the scrumptiously sleekness. That made no sense, but I love how beautiful this is. I think it's a big step up to what it looked before. So now that that's completed, I'm going to copy and paste the arch thing because the other tunnel isn't interactive or anything, so it'll be pretty easy to replicate it on the other side. I am very happy with that. I think that ties in with the surroundings very well. So now that the tunnels are finally finished, it is time for the part that I've been looking forward to the most. I will be building some power lines. For the type of power line, I want it to be a wooden one, not like one of those big metal Eiffel Tower kind of things. I just want it to be simple. Okay, that is not simple, but I want it to be like this. And the thing is, I am no electrician or anything, so this is going to be incredibly inaccurate. I'm going to be adding random bits and bobs that is not even going to work to be able to send power or anything. I'm literally just going to be building whatever looks good. So if there's an electrician watching this, please don't be mad, okay? I'm just a little kid. I don't know what I'm doing.
Aren't you a little young to be a roller coaster engineer?
Yes I am.
I am not letting myself repeat my old mistakes by making the lights too small, so I'm going to adjust it to be the size of the lights. Maybe a little bit taller will do. And I reckon this area is good. I'll just resize it so it's a little bit skinnier and longer, and then I'll just add one directly below it. And what I noticed, see on this picture, there's the little things, I don't know the terminology, but it connects the lines to it and it actually has the power in the coily thingy. So I'm gonna have to add something to put there. This looks really weird, but you guys are gonna have to trust the process on this, okay? Once I add the actual lines, it will look 10 times better, I promise. Okay, I'm gonna use the ordinary string for this, just so it bends a little bit and it's not too stiff. So, okay, this is the moment of truth. This is actually the most satisfying part. So I'm gonna connect them like this, and I have to go all across. Oh, that looks so beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna have to do them on all 4 up top. I'm gonna look back on Pinterest because I actually kind of do want to be a little bit accurate with this. See, there's those little jug things. I don't know what they are, like little generators or something. So I think it would be a little bit more realistic if I added those, because I don't want to have 8 wires going across, because that is not realistic at all and it'll just look really bad. So I'm going to add these at the bottom. It won't be too hard to add. My guess is that the power is all stored in those little jug things, and then it goes up onto these wire things, and then that kind of somehow connects to the wires that go across to the other pole. Maybe, I don't know. I think that looks cool anyway. It's really inaccurate, but I think it looks really good. So I'll add the jug things. Jugs is really the wrong word, but I'll add the little storage generators over here. And in terms of actually connecting it to a house, what I've seen in real life is they always connect to like the roof of maybe a farmhouse or something, or wherever it is. I don't know if it's going to be rural or not, but in this case it's just going to connect to the top of the house there. See, it looks cool. It might not be very realistic and it might not work in real life, but I think that looks cool anyway. So I'll probably do that to all of the houses and buildings if it's possible. I also do have to be aware of my surroundings, because if you have a whole bunch of power lines right beside a tree, that is a massive hazard, and right now I am feeding into that hazard a lot. I literally had a big fat tree there and I got rid of it, and yeah, I've got to be careful, because otherwise if there's a big fat tree in the middle, like if I place it right back, it will be in between the lines, and yeah, that is a big no-no right there. That is so bad to look at. Oh guys, I just had the best idea ever. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna build some birds and then they're gonna be sitting on the wire. Okay, that's it. Hopefully it doesn't look bad, but I'm gonna try it anyway. So I think all I'll do is just get some basic shapes and just move them up on the wire to make it look good. Just a reminder, the only experience I've had with this is making animals, and that was before I had the transform tool, so this is a whole new level for me. I don't know what I am doing, but I'm kind of just winging it. Winging it. I'm building a wing right now. That was a really bad joke. But yeah, I'm going to move this down here and hopefully it will make a cute little wing. The real question is how I'm gonna do the eyes. They're so stupid, but I think what I'll do is just make it really long, and then it can kind of seep through, like through the head maybe. This looks so stupid, but I love it so much. He's actually a little cutie. I love him. Okay, I think this is the design of the bird I'm gonna do, and I'm probably just gonna copy and paste it and do some different colors, but I actually love this little guy. He's so cute. Oh, I love it. I love it. I think that adds just a lot more detail to the whole thing. It's really, really cute. So I'm trying really hard to be able to connect power sources to the town center buildings, like similar to that kind of thing, but I don't know how well it's going to work with the buildings that's really in the town center. So I'll try to add power lines in accessible places, but it probably won't work for every single building. It would also be really cool if I built like some little shoes or something hanging on the wires, because you know the movie In the Sandlot where he hangs his shoes on it? Yeah, I think that'll be really cool. But hey, that looks cool. It might not be accurate, but I think that looks cool. I think this is all of the power lines I can add. I'm pretty sure all of the buildings have some sort of power source that's accessible to the power lines and the posts, but overall it might be inaccurate, but see, look at that. That actually looks really cool. Okay, the last thing I'm going to add is the signpost. So I'm already going to use this existing pole because it'll be a lot cleaner if I only had one pole instead of multiple in one spot. So I think I'll just use some basic shapes and then put some decals on it later. I don't really know what the streets should be called, but I kind of want to have a little bit of a theme, things to do with trees and things, but I also want it to kind of be stupid at the same time. I don't know, I'll probably just wing it as I go on. I reckon a signpost could fit up here. I think I'll only need to add, no, I think I'll need two because I can have only one post that is used for both roads, just so I don't have too many poles all over the place. And I'm going to use this color because one, it kind of goes in with the tree theme, and two, I think it'll just look best anyway comparing to if I used blue. And I think that's all of the signposts finished. I don't think I need to add any more. So now I need to add just a few more little details around the town and do some fix-ups. Okay, so I ended up doing all that off camera just so this video doesn't bore you to death or anything, but I'm going to do a quick overview of what I've added. So as you can see, we have, oh it's so glitchy, but we have the power line, the light, and also the street sign. I used Canva to make my own custom street signs, and I just used a poster and I resized it. And as you can see, we have all of these street lines down here. I also added some graffiti and things behind the buildings, added some more signs. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how this all looks together. I was a little bit skeptical on adding all of the power lines in the city centre, but I think it really adds to the atmosphere and stuff, and it also just makes the area a lot more interesting. This is probably one of my favourite kind of areas. I just love how like immersive it is, and I also added some little wooden signs on the post just so you know where to go, I guess. So like the farm is located up there. And yeah, all the power lines mostly run across the mountain area because I guess it makes more sense if it's in the rural area instead of all of them piled in the city centre. And then we also have our cute little birds, which I love, and I also added a few more street signs there just so it's a little bit more realistic. And also I added a little sign there for the campsite, and then we just have the good old tunnel right here. So that's just a little mini tour. I don't want to go in too much depth because next video is pretty much going to be the grand tour. I think there's not really too much more I can add. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to get some inspiration and tips from this, and I will see you guys next time.